Tuesday, and we have a great retirement question. So hopefully all of you have been considering your retirement and hopefully retiring young. But here's the question. If you inherit a large sum of money, let's say 100K, you have zero debt and are close to retirement age with zero retirement, no assets, and minimal savings. Question one, how would you protect yourself and the money legally? Question two, what asset would you invest in so that you can have continued money flowing? And question three, how would you divide the money percentage-wise with savings, investment, etc.? All right, so that's a lot to uh, deal with, and I'm going to have to make some assumptions because there are things you have to consider when you're talking about putting away money for retirement, right? You have to consider, well, in this case, that person clearly has no savings or money put away for retirement. I mean, they're close to retirement age, but how long do you expect to live is a serious question, and it's something you can kind of estimate based on your health, your family history, things like that. You can kind of get a range and see how much longer you assume you have, because you have to plan for the entire spectrum, and you have to look at the improvements in healthcare and the longevity of people today. So people are living longer, even when they've had health issues. So you're gonna have to plan out quite a bit of time. Um, for people who are considering, are not in this situation when they have to retire immediately or very soon, time is critical to utilize. So get on it today. But let's just deal with the question. So if you inherited the money, it's already pretty safe. It's your money. So we don't really have to address that. But what asset would you invest in? And how would you divide this money up? So if they have really no savings, we still have to create an emergency fund, right? Before we do anything, we always have to have an emergency fund. So a lot of that will be based on your expenses, the things that are critical. As you get older, different types of emergencies arise, and you have to kind of plan for that. So let's just assume we're going to take 10,000 from the 100,000, and now we have 90,000 left to work with. $90,000, if you're going to live just another 20 years, is really not enough to live on in any way, shape, or form if just on an investment. And let me explain why. Most financial advisors will suggest that you prepare to create 70% of your current earned income in some type of other income, right, for retirement. So this is after work is done, you need to be able to generate 70%. Now, a lot of advisors today are cutting it back to 60%, but that means you're cutting your lifestyle significantly, and to live longer with a decreased lifestyle, I don't think is a great idea. So I personally say you should strive for 80%. So that means every year you have to figure out how you're going to get 80% of your current income. So if the U.S. median household income is about $67,521, I think that's it. Yeah, $67,521 is the median household income. Just for ease, we'll say that this person or this family has $60,000 in income. So if we did the 70%, that's $42,000. If we do 80%, that's $48,000, right? So that means, let's just go with the 80% because I like my number better. So that means they have to figure out how to create $48,000 a year from the $90,000 we have left. They're not going to find an investment. There's nothing that you can invest in legally where you're going to get, a return that high. So even if we had the whole 100,000, that's a 48% annual return. All right. So the good thing is we shouldn't be relying only on the 90,000 that we have left, right? Social Security will kick in. Hopefully they've been contributing to Social Security. Hopefully they have some type of pension plan. So let's do the math. Let's say you said cash flow, safe. Real estate is a very stable asset that gives cash flow every month. And in general, tends to also increase in value, which means you build equity over time, which is potentially something you can sell later on if you needed to, especially if you wanted to downsize or move to, have to move to assisted living, or even get after retirement a reverse mortgage, right? So that they have income coming from that. Also, it is something that they can pass on as an asset to, their descendants. So let's just say they take 60,000 of the money, right? With 60,000, you can get a $600,000 building. So let's say 4% down, 6% closing, that's 10%. So that means they can possibly, and probably not, and depending on where you live, the size of the building you can get for 600,000. New York City is really nothing. But if you found the right market at $600,000 and you put in $60,000, let's assume now after your expenses you're collecting 15%. So 15% on 60,000, that's about $9,000 that you're going to generate, right? And again, if 9,000, we needed 48,000, you're still short, but we still have 30,000 left. So if we take the 30,000, and again, because you can't really be aggressive if you're trying to hold on to the money, if you found something like an index fund that only invests in the S&P 500, you'll probably get an annual return of about 10%. So that's another 3,000. So you have $12,000 to work with. $12,000, which means that will supplement your Social Security and your pension plan, which means that if we subtract the 12,000 from the 48,000, then your Social Security and pension plan have to create $36,000 a year for you, and then that will create 12,000. Or you're going to have to find another source of income to supplement that. But that allows you, again, to have an emergency fund in case something happens. And you should put that probably in a high interest online account. So, of course, it's probably not going to beat inflation because we're going to assume an annual inflation rate of 3%, for the rest of this time. So we got positive cash flow. We have a stable asset. We have something that grows. We have two different assets, so we don't put it all in the same pot. Both are relatively stable. Both are heritable, right? You can pass them on. And, the issue is starting this late and starting really with nothing except, the gift. So the lesson in this is that everyone needs to start now. My children are in their early 20s, and I already have them putting away money for their retirement. Right? And we've used a retirement calculator. You can all find a retirement calculator, probably going like NerdWallet or something, and put information into a retirement calculator and see where you're at and see how much you really need to start putting away to be able to produce 80% or even 70% if you want to get really conservative, 70% of your current income for the rest of your life after retirement. So, hopefully that was helpful. But of course, there are a lot of factors that we didn't talk about because I just don't really know all the ins and outs of this person's, life, all their source of income, their health, their expenses, So great question, but get on that retirement now. And the sooner you get on it, the sooner you can retire. Love the question. Add your comments, share, like, and keep the questions coming. And I'll see you next Tuesday.